If you've been the victim of a quiet promotion, this is what you're gonna do. Okay, first of all, a quiet promotion is basically when your boss gives you more work and more responsibility without a new title and a new salary. I tell you it's a stretch opportunity and an opportunity for you to shine. You're starting to get the sense this is happening to you, book a one-on-one with your manager. You're gonna tell them that you're super grateful for the opportunity and that you're loving the learning. And then, most importantly, you're gonna ask what's their long-term plan for your career development, and you're not gonna say a thing more. If they say, we'll see where it goes, maybe you get promoted, maybe you don't, give it 6 months. Otherwise, they're using you. You might be pleasantly surprised. Your manager might have a career development plan that you're really excited about. Set a boundary. It is not okay to do more for the same price. You're giving them a discount.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Wait a minute. What type of sorcery and games are they playing? We're not doing that. If you ever find yourself in a situation where they give you an unofficial promotion, which means they exponentially increase your work and give you pennies on a dollar without the job title, here's what you're going to do. You are going to make a business case on why you deserve a title change, and you are going to present it to human resources. You are going to look at the role and responsibilities for the job that you want, that you feel you are doing, and you are going to write how long you've been doing the work, projects you've worked on, people you've successfully trained. You are going to lay it on and lay it on thick. And you are going to present it to HR, and you are going to say, I would like someone to evaluate my current role and responsibilities and make sure it aligns to my current job title. And you need to do that stat.
I'm a big fan of people taking on extra work as a way to prove themselves, but a lot of people don't know how to do it strategically, and then they get stuck just with extra work and not the extra pay. So let's talk about this. When you first start a job, it's really important that you write out all of your responsibilities and start tracking how many hours a day it takes you to complete them. You want to get super efficient and to the point that there's time left over in your day. Once you're able to do everything you were hired to do and you know you have time left over, is the time where you want to have a strategic conversation with your boss. And you want to sit down and say, look, I've gotten proficient at all of these. I've got time left over. I would like to take on more valuable work for you. Is there something I can take off your plate? Now, the reason I say that is that when you can take something off your boss's plate and make their life easier, it's a lot harder for them to want to ever fire you. More importantly, they see you as more valuable because they don't ever want to take that work back. So if you can take something off their plate, a responsibility, that's super helpful. Now, when they say, yes, this is what you can do, you start doing the work and you get efficient. But the moment you start doing this and realize, hey, even at my most efficient level, this is taking up more hours than, I've been planning to work. That's when you want to sit down with your boss and say, this is going really well. I love this new work I'm doing, but I've gotten as efficient as I can, and it's still taking me about X hours a week overtime to do all this. I was wondering if somebody else might be able to take on some of my lower responsibilities to free me up, because I'd like to do even more advanced work for you if possible. I'd also like to learn how to get on the track to earn a raise and promotion, and I think it will require me to take on even more valuable work for you. Can we talk and plan that out? This is the point, because now you're making it clear to them, hey, I want to do more valuable work, but I've maxed my hours and I'm looking for a raise. So how are we going to make this happen together? See, a lot of people don't understand this. They think I'm the employee and then this is the employer or the manager, and that I don't have any rights. You have to think of yourself as a business of one who's partnering with your boss. You don't work for your boss, you work with your boss. And that means you need to know how to take full ownership and negotiation of your business of one, to make it as productive as possible. Because if you don't do that, eventually the relationship is out of whack, right? And you feel really frustrated, like you're being taken advantage of. Well, you let that happen to yourself. And I know that's really hard to hear, but we have to learn to find the ways to stand up for ourselves. Look, I believe everyone should be a workplace renegade. I believe you should think for yourself, act for yourself, do for yourself. And that's what I teach in my career coaching program. In fact, sidebar, we have 14 classes that teach you how to do all of this. And there's a 7-day free trial if you want to go over to Work It Daily, and we can start to make you a workplace renegade. Because you owe it to yourself. If you want the best career possible, then you've got to take ownership. But please understand that if you don't get the response you're looking for, then that just tells you maybe this isn't the right partnership anymore, and we go look for a partner that will work for you. This is what it's about, folks. You can do this. Keep the questions coming. Go get them.
I get a lot of people asking me, how were you able to make it to this position you have today? And I can tell you that, one, I work really hard. Two, I found amazing mentors. And three, I always said yes before I was getting paid for it. It drives me crazy because a lot of people now would ask for the money first before they can demonstrate that they can do the job. And if you can do that, that's great. For someone like me, that was not possible. And so, do you want to do this extra thing? Yes, I will. Now, I'm not talking about abuse here, right? And so you don't want to do that forever and not get compensated. But I always said yes. And I did it for a few months. And then I got promoted. And then I did the next thing for a few months. And then I got promoted. And so that may not be the case for everyone, but that's what worked for me. And so I hope it helps you. Kisses. Bye.
The day that I got promoted to being the VP of operations, I felt dread. I had a pit in my stomach. Your gut always knows. Our mind, it likes to confuse us. It likes to steer us into things that we think we want, but we really don't. But your body knows, which is why when I got the promotion that I had been trying to get for so long, I didn't actually feel the happiness and the joy that I thought was going to come with the promotion. I felt straight dread. I was dreading having to work more hours than I already was. I was dreading taking on the additional responsibility that I knew was going to come with the role because I felt already maxed out at capacity as a director. I was dreading managing a team of mostly older men who I knew didn't really respect me as much as I was going to need to have them respect me in order to be their leader. I was dreading telling my family that I was going to have to miss out on more things because I had already missed out on so much. My body knew. My stomach knotted up and I was smiling. I'm like, this is great. But inside it didn't feel great. Your body always knows. Our mind confuses us sometimes. It's like, go get the achievement because it tells us that our worthiness is attached to it. And that makes sense because we've been pretty programmed to believe that our worthiness is attached to the things that we do instead of how we just be. As somebody who's a go-getter, I love achieving. This attachment, it really led me in the wrong direction. It led me to getting something that I didn't really want. Now, the caveat to this story is that I actually learned how to work in a much healthy way when I got that promotion, and I ended up loving that role for a few years. But when I received the promotion, that punch in my gut was like a wake-up call. Cass, you have to start changing the way that you relate to work, the way that you show up for work. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable. You're burnt out. And I listened and I changed. So what is your body trying to tell you? And are you ignoring it because your mind is confusing you? Food for thought.
Every time I ignored my gut feeling, my instincts, I always came back to regret it. So it is really good that she listened to her body. She listened to her gut feeling. And it was like, you need to change something. Something here is amiss. Something is wrong. And yeah, guys, always listen to your body. If you need more rest, if you have to get out of a place or something like that, just leave. Your body is always right.
So I recently got promoted at work, period. I've been working there for about 3.5 years. I started working there straight out of college. And these are a few things that I think helped me get to this point. My main stipulation is, of course, every single industry is different. We quite literally shouldn't even have to be worrying about promotions and progressions. But I digress. Number one, have somebody else in management that is invested in your growth and development. I feel like a lot of times people really just rely on the manager, when in reality, when they go in to talk about promotions and progressions, it's a group of managers that are vouching for, their reports. So you having somebody else in that manager group that knows you, knows what you work on, and your overall work ethic is always going to be a positive. 2, getting feedback in real time and networking across. People like to be able to give you feedback, both positive and negative. When you give people the space to actually provide you legitimate feedback, they feel better about the experience that you have with them. And networking across is very important because when it comes to end of year and you need that feedback, they're more than willing to give you positive feedback. Number 3, and arguably the most important, you need Facetime with the person that actually makes decisions. Set that one-on-one up. Trust me.
Wouldn't it be great if everybody did their own job so that we didn't have to? Wouldn't that be great? I have a job. And I'll tell you, it's like I have a side hustle that I don't get paid for because I feel like every day on my lunch, I have to do somebody else's job. And I'm a little salty about it today because it's Friday, yay! But I already know that my entire lunch is going to be spent cleaning up stuff, First is the bank that was supposed to send me paperwork a month ago. And I've called several times, and I'm not near that bank. We're not in the same state. And I got, oh, it's on the way. Oh, the paperwork's on the way. You should be getting that any day now. And then I'll escalate that. Oh, no, you don't escalate it. Just send me the paperwork. That'd be great. Now, after I go round and round with them for 10 minutes, then I'm going to have to get in touch with the people who are making my daughter's contact lenses. Things take time. I don't have an issue with that. Communication is a big thing for me, though. And I got an email from them saying they're back ordered. And they would send me an email with an estimated time, and I would be hearing from them soon. And I got that a week and a half ago. And when I go to check my order, it still says back order, and I don't know how soon is, but I haven't gotten the email. So don't tell me you're going to follow up with me and then not follow up with me. She needs her contact lenses. And then after I go round and round with that, then I've got to get in touch with a lawyer who I've been working on a thing with for 4 years. Just haven't heard from them in 3 months. 3 months, no, nothing. And we're like in the middle of something. So that's my lunch today. I'm not really excited about it because I'm just doing other people's jobs. Yeah. The weekend will be better though. It will.
You work hard, but no one works harder than a person that's trying to move you out of your position, get you out of their way, and take your place.
Hey girl, do you want to get promoted in 2025? I got you. I was promoted at my last organization over 4 times in 6 years, and I actually tripled my salary from when I first started into when I exited. How I did that was not just sitting on good performance. If you expect hard work to pay off and your good performance to speak for itself, I'm going to give you a heads up. It won't. The number one way that you're going to move up in an organization or in the corporate environment is you better utilize your voice and your personal brand. 1, does everybody know what you want? Do people know what you want in 5 years? Do people know the type of leader or the type of position or the sales team that you want to be on in 5 years? If they don't, you better start seeking it out, right? Not just to your direct leader, but to your peers and to other cross-functional leaders. By the way, that leads me to my second. Do you have a personal brand outside of your own team? If not, I would go to these other teams that you work with and make sure that the leaders of those teams you have a good relationship with. You're not going to ask them to mentor you. No. You're going to ask them for time, and you're going to ask them thoughtful questions about the work that they're doing, the challenges that their department's facing, and how can you and your team help exemplify or help progress some of the challenges that they're facing. When you do that, you're going to help showcase that you're a strategic thinker, that you're someone that's there. And by the way, most key decisions in corporate America happen when you're not in the room. So it's important to keep your brand high. Third is you're going to start building a resume, and remember that you're interviewing for the job you want when you don't actually have that job. What I mean by that is if you do something to really showcase how great your work is, build that into a deck, a presentation, a component. Okay, that's for the job that I want next. By the time that job comes around, you're going to have an operational cadence, an operational rhythm, an entire business plan about how you've already been the best candidate for that role as soon as it opens up. Again, the only person in your career that's going to care the most about your career is you. The only person that's going to help build your career the most, even if you have the most incredible mentors, is you. Be your own advocate, be your own voice, and build your personal brand in an organization. So go build your network, voice what you want, and keep crushing it at work. You'll get promoted. Thanks.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Let's be real. Truth is, you don't really want that promotion. You just want to make more money. Because with the promotion, often what comes is more stress, more hours, a heavier workload. And you know that. You really just want a better quality of life, but not more work. That salary bump that you're looking for doesn't always reflect the pressures, the expectations, and the sacrifices that come with it. Let's be real. You're probably already burnt out or almost there. And a promotion might just make you feel like you're stepping deeper into the fire and not out of it. Not everyone wants to climb the corporate ladder, and that's okay. You just want the financial stability and freedom. Some of you don't even want the leadership piece of it all and having to manage others, keep track of everything that they're doing. At the end of the day, you know that getting that promotion will most likely make your job security more riskier. You know deep down that the stress is not really worth it. At the end of the day, you're not wrong because we all really have the same goal. Despite the money being the motive and being the push to get you up out of bed every single day, don't let chasing that title be the one thing that affects your mental health and causes you to crash out at the end of the day.
I was chatting recently to someone about promotions in the workplace and how people find it hard, especially our generation and people that don't have a lot of experience in the workplace. They find it hard to actually ask for promotion. And I was saying, well, you need to take a step back first and schedule a meeting with your managing director, your immediate supervisor or your manager, the person that's in charge of your reviews. When you've set this meeting up, prepare for it. It is all about selling yourself. At the end of the day, how well you can show the company how much value you add to their business is what will get you promoted. Obviously, like hard work, You can have a very frank conversation with your manager. Start by saying, well, what are my options to get promoted? I'm looking for a progression in my career. And in order, to progress in my career, I need a promotion. These are all the tasks that I've done. This is the value that I have added to the business in the last year. And this is what I hope to add once I am promoted to this position. I feel like a lot of us, including me, find it really hard and challenging to ask for promotions in the workplace. But remember that you are there because of your own hard work, and the company is not going to give it to you unless you step up and have that conversation with them.
Ask for a raise and or a promotion 2 times. No more, no less. If you ask them twice and both times they say no, start looking for a new job. If you work hard, there is no reason why you should have to explain yourself. Your work can speak for itself. Say, hey, I did this very well, I did this, and I hit all of these KPIs that you guys wanted. Now, please give me a raise. And if not, I'm out the door.
If you want to get promoted in your job, you have to be able to show that you have the right vibe. Like, being good at your job is basically the bare minimum requirement. So this vibe in corporate speak is called executive presence. And executive presence really means how good you are at inspiring confidence in other people, like getting other people to believe in you and your vision. Your girl got nominated recently for this corporate sponsored women's leadership program through my company for ascending female leaders, as they call it. And the last session we had was on this topic specifically, and we got coaching in these 5 different areas. First, they really stress that good leadership skills has to do with your ability to listen, and listening isn't just hearing what other people are saying to you, but it's building relationships to encourage open communication. And then it's your openness to be able to absorb that new information and perspective to make decisions. Where do I even start with number 2? Like, communication skills are table stakes. I'm super guilty of this too. Like, I'm very much trying to work on this, but there's a big difference between just saying what you need to say and crafting a message specifically for the people you're communicating with. Just the way that we share information, the word choice that we use, the tone, the body language, like all of that can so drastically change the message that we're sending. Executive presence involves your knowledge of how to pull these different levers so that you can adapt your message depending on who you're talking to. Okay, number 3, we got inclusivity. So we played this improv game. It's called Yes And. The concept of this game is that whenever you're talking to somebody else, you always respond in agreement, even if you disagree. So if somebody's like, the sky is green, you're like, that is a great hypothesis. I think we should definitely test that. We should also consider whether or not the sky might be blue and come up with our thesis after we do some testing or whatever. So if you're always accepting somebody else's ideas and adding to them, you can create a space that people feel comfortable to share. Otherwise, when people feel disagreed with, they stop sharing and they shut down. Okay, number 4, in our jobs, we are all expected to be experts at what we're doing. That's why we make money for doing it. And when you are a leader, you have to build your team's confidence that you know what the hell you're doing. You can really dial up that expert vibe if you speak with confidence, if you reference specific details and numbers, if you handle objections before people even ask questions, you exude passion and energy for what you're saying. And lastly, we got storytelling. This is so foundational. Like, What you're saying does not matter if you cannot say it effectively. This could be in an elevator pitch. This could be in a presentation. This could be in giving feedback to your team member. This could be in talking to your boss about priorities. And there are frameworks you can use to tell better stories, ones like situation, impact, and learning.
So I just got a promotion on Friday and today's Monday. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be coming by my desk. So let's get ready. So now I'm salary and I'm also in line to get my equipment to work from home. I just turned 30 a couple months ago. So this is like such a big accomplishment because I don't have a degree, right? Like I didn't go to school. So I always thought that making the salary that I'm making now was never going to happen for me. Working corporate can get really toxic. Like I've been working corporate for the past like 10 years. I do have other goals, but this is just helping me to get there faster. You know what I mean? So I hate it when people look down on the 9-to-5 rat race. But like I said, if you don't have a college degree and you don't have like a booming business and you're not like an entrepreneur, then what are you doing to like make money, you know? And I get paid today, so I'm gonna see if they back pay me or if I'll see my raise on the next check. But I'll do a payday routine maybe tomorrow, so y'all come back for that. Anyways, let's brush this hair. I just got a haircut on Saturday and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I curled it yesterday, so I'm just going to brush it out. I think that looks fine. Okay, bye.
When I first got promoted to a manager, I actually hated it. I literally hated it. Managing people is one of the most challenging parts of becoming a part of the leadership role that you will ever take on. It is literally like being a therapist, a motivator, a coach, a mentor, all in one, while doing your own work that needs to get accomplished, but also making sure the team's work get accomplished. And the reason why I really disliked it is because I feel like the management team never gave me any type of courses, training courses. Oftentimes, like, you're getting promoted because you're really good at a particular set of skills, right? You manage a process, you're handling processes, and you're just phenomenal at them. And then one day you're like, okay, now it's time for you to become a manager. And now you're a people manager. And a people manager and a process manager is totally different, right? Like you can be great at the process, but now managing people, that takes a different level of skill set. It takes emotional intelligence and not necessarily your ability to execute and be extremely technical and analytical. It takes communication skills, more so the soft skills that I will say the majority of human beings are still trying to develop soft skills in their own personal life, let alone the professional life, right? So that's why it was so challenging. And then I just feel like most companies, they don't have a management training course. You're just thrusted into the position and then they're like, yeah, we expect you to excel now. You excel at these processes for years. Why wouldn't you excel at this? Which is like, it's great because it's saying that you have faith in us. And that's an amazing thing to have. But it's like, no, I need to still get training for managing people because I need to motivate the individuals on my team at all different points in their career. Some are just coming into the workforce. Some have been in the workforce a bit longer. Some have different backgrounds. Some have different motivational drives, right? And as a manager, it's your responsibility to find out what their motivational drives are and kind of hone in on it and then nurture that. So that takes so much emotional intelligence where you're connecting with people on a deeper level, not just, okay, do this, do that. In the beginning, it wasn't that easy. But one thing I do recommend is speaking to your manager and finding out if your company have any management courses for you to take. And then in addition to that, there's Harvard Business Review. If you don't have a subscription, please get one. My company sponsored that, where you can go in and select the type of articles you would like to read, the type of training you'll like to receive. They have different modules on management skills, leadership, communication, time management, so many different things within the Harvard Business Review umbrella that you can select and, you know, get that one-on-one training that you potentially would like. And I think once you get the training, the confidence comes because now you know how to go in and execute on what you've been taught. But also there's another component where it's just the experience of managing people the first time around and the second time around and the third time around, you'll get better and better at it. So don't be so hard on yourself. I know that they push you into the position, but more than likely it's because they see something in you as well that shows that you're capable.
A lot of people think that they want the promotion. What you really want is the increase in pay. That is what you really want. Trust me, you do not want to be a leader. You do not want to manage people. That is one of the hardest jobs that you'll ever have. And a lot of people hate managers. They absolutely loathe them. So think very long and hard if you really want to be a manager, because there's a lot of work for not enough pay a lot of the times.
Okay, I don't know if this is gonna land with anyone, but for my corporate girlies who are struggling to get promoted, leave the job. Leave the fucking job. I was at a company for 3 years, same role. I made the company millions of dollars. I went above and beyond within my role. I proved myself. I had great relationships with my clients. I asked for a promotion, I want to say 3 times. Right after I hit my 2-year mark and I hit all of my targets, I asked for a promotion. Time and time again, I was told no. It was due to corporate politics. I just wasn't picked, and I kept getting no. I just started a new job. I went in at the same title that I was at my old job. I was very much like, I just need to get out. I just got off a call with my boss. They're promoting me. I'm getting promoted after 4 months. And you want to know what he said? He said, based on your experience, everything that you accomplished, just your wealth of knowledge, what you bring to the table and what you bring to the company, just from like an experience level, one, and then 2, what you've done in the last 4 months, your energy, your positivity, what you've impacted on your clients in just 4 months, you very much fit into the senior level title. A company noticed my value in 4 months. 4. And I begged for it at my last company for 3 years. Leave the fucking job. Someone will appreciate your work. I'm not saying, well, it will always happen, but there are companies out there. So shout out to my new company. I'm so excited. I did not see this coming at all, but sometimes things happen when you least expect it. So leave the job. Someone will appreciate you and your work, I promise.
When are these jobs going to realize that the only way to show an employee that you appreciate them is to pay them? Give them a little extra bonus, give them a little extra on the promotion, give them just a raise in general, give them money, okay? They don't want gear, little t-shirts, little pencils, hats, and all that little tacky stuff. They don't want the pizza parties. They don't want you to feed them the team dinner. They don't want that. And if you know what, you want to give that to them, great. They would love that, actually, on top of getting paid, on top of additional income hitting that account. Every week, every bi-weekly, whenever you get paid, they would like to see a little bit of extra funds in that account. They're grown adults, okay? They got bills they got to pay. Those pizza parties and little t-shirts and stuff are not paying the bills. I'm sorry, I know. And it's not them being ungrateful. It's not, because guess what? Yeah, if you want to hand that to them, that's fine. But what really speaks to them and shows them appreciation is money. And they know that. These companies know that. They just don't want to accept that, because that means that every employee needs to be compensated fairly, okay? And they want to ignore that fact, but that's a different conversation. But money speaks, okay? Not the pizza parties and all the little gear and other tacky things.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there hustling right now, and I'm definitely one of them. People juggling 2 jobs, like I am, and supposed to be working for a gig coming up this weekend, and my brain just went. So I had to take a time out. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing literally nothing right now. I'm just curling up with my blanket and just laying here. So I don't know if anyone else goes through those moments where you're just like, I just have to stop because I'm just tired. I'm too busy. So good luck to all my friends out there who are doing the same thing. Hang in there.
So my job has this really cool feature where if you're really good at your job, you get to do other people's jobs too. It's awesome.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.